Hello, YouTube world. Welcome to the very first episode of Go Man Go. And I'm your host, Chris. Now, you may be wondering, what is this channel all about? Well, basically, I want to encourage other people to get out there and play disc golf. Especially men who maybe can't play the sport that they used to or can't do the hobby that they used to. You know, disc golf is pretty much something anybody can participate in. Now, I did say sport. It is active, and believe it or not, there are professionals who play disc golf. Now, if you can have professional cornhole players, I think you can have professional disc golf. Now, before we get any further, I want to share just a little bit about my story. How did I get into disc golf? Well, it's a pretty short story, and that is a friend of mine invited me to go out. And once I got out there and played, I fell in love with the sport. And I got to wondering, why haven't I been doing this all along? Now, I try to get out there, I don't know, about once a week, sometimes twice a week to play. And pretty much any city or any town has a disc golf course close by. Now, I still consider myself a student of the game. I'm still trying to learn a lot. I've only been playing for a couple of years, but I want to bring you along on my journey about disc golf. Now, there are certain tools of the game or elements to the game. First of all, this is a disc. It is not a frisbee. A frisbee is something that you would throw around with your friends or maybe play ultimate frisbee with. But this is a disc. It's shaped different, it looks different, and it definitely flies different. Now, there's also the basket you can see over my shoulder here. That's what you're trying to get the disc into, is into that basket. Now you start off each hole of disc golf with the tee pad, and you try to reach the basket from there, however many throws it takes you. And you're throwing down what's called a fairway. And along the fairway, there's usually an out of bounds. Not every disc golf course has out of bounds, but most do. But you're throwing the disc down the fairway to try to get to the basket. Playing disc golf is similar to playing, well, golf. I already mentioned how you have a tee pad, you have the fairway, you have the out of bounds, which out of bounds is also known as OB. And instead of a hole, you have a basket. In golf, you have strokes, and however many strokes it takes you to get the ball into the hole, well, that's your score for that hole. Well, in disc golf, you have throws. And however many throws it takes you to get the disc into the basket, well, that's your score for that particular hole. Now, every hole has a par, similar to golf. It may be a par 3, it could go up to a par 5, maybe even higher. And your goal is to try to get the disc under par if you can. So you have par, which is if it's a par 3 and you get the disc in there into the basket in 3 throws, well, then you met par. Now, if you're good enough and able to get the disc into the basket in under 2 throws, well, you're under par. Well, if you go over 3 throws for that hole, that's a par 3, then you're over par. So the scoring is even similar to golf. And all you have to do is keep track of how many throws it takes you to get the disc into the basket to keep your total score for your whole time around the course. And some courses, like golf, are either a 9-hole course or an 18-hole course. Now, those are some really basic things about disc golf. And basically, you just need to get out and throw. Now, you can go by yourself and play. That's one thing I like about disc golf, is I can go out by myself if I want to. Or you can go out with friends and learn from friends. Especially if you have friends who have played disc golf before, you can learn a great deal from them. And to get disc, well, you can go to Walmart, you can go to Meijer, maybe even Target, and buy what's called a starter pack. Or if you have a Play It Again Sports, you can go to Play It Again Sports and find used discs that you can buy. And sometimes they even have new discs that you can buy. So next week, we're going to talk a little bit more about the disc. The different kinds of discs, what the numbers on the disc mean, how they move, how they go through the air. So we'll talk about that on the next episode. So I really just want to encourage you now just to get out there and throw. Get a hold of some discs. If you go and buy some used ones, you go buy the starter kit, or maybe you have a friend that has discs. You just need to get out there and throw. So, I'll see you next episode, and just want to say, go man, go. Get out there and throw.